Shit, this is Big Flow.
Yo, what's up? This is DJ X.
This is K.
This is J-Ball.
This is Vez.
This is Juno.
You're tuned in to GFG TV.
So we're live here at GFG TV.
You tuned in to GFG TV.
And you're now tuned in to GFG TV.
When you're tuned in to GFG TV.
West YouTube, this your boy Big Ray West. You tuned in to GFG TV.
Yo, it's the future, and you're now tuned in to GFG TV.
All right, jumping back into it. So what got you into battle rapping, or like when did that start?
Battle rapping, like if you came up in New York, like you had to battle rap. You know what I'm saying? Like you couldn't rap. That's what listen, man. I don't want to go on an old guy tangent here. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be the guy who doesn't like rap now, because I do. I'm just saying, man, like, they'll beat you up. You know what I'm saying? That's it. If you came out trying to rap about a bunch of shit you wasn't doing, they was just going to beat you up, man. So, you know, that's at least how it felt. So I'll take that. To be fair, you probably weren't going to be assaulted every time you came out the house. But rapping in an environment where you felt like you were going to be, made you feel like you had to rap about shit you was doing. So the content to me was so much, I don't want to say higher than anywhere else, that's not fair, but the content was so unique to East Coast at that time. It was very just real life, like everything was just about real life, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, even when I just started as a rapper, everything was about rapping better than you, right? I got verses right now that I know from 20 years ago that I have memorized that are just all about, I use them in battles. You know what I'm saying? I'll use a bar that's 20 years old in a battle. Motherfuckers be like, oh shit. Because that's how we was rapping back then. We was just rapping about rapping. So I was battling, you know, when I was like 15, man. So I've been battling a long time. And obviously being white, you know, it's like, that's a thing, you know what I'm saying? So, like, obviously, I was in a lot of battles and a lot of, you know, situations where I was, you know, by myself. So, and every environment I stepped in, I owned it. I battled. That's what I loved. That shit. I loved rapping in front of people. I loved just the feeling and just the, you know, you felt that shit in the words of shit. I battled Shea Davis, who was actually like a big deal. He was the dude from all the Smack DVDs and shit. I drove up to battle him at fucking Nassau fucking Community College in Long Island and shit. And I lost. I didn't lose though. You know what I'm saying? It was like 3 dudes there. They were his people. You know, we was trapping, so we put up some money. And I let them 3 people judge. I didn't lose to Shea Davis. I beat Shea Davis. But that's neither here nor there. I've been battling a long time. We battled outside one time. And probably... You know, and I don't want to exaggerate none of this shit because I ain't shit. Probably like 100 people was there, and we battling and shit, and that shit turned into a motherfucking brawl. Because I was smoking him. Yeah, I remember battling, in the Berg, because, and that was in the hood. Like, when I would go to events in the hood, we was the only white guys that was ever going to come down there. Motherfucker, we was, like, that's how they knew us. They knew. We was the only ones to come down there. So rapping, there was a lot of pressure. You know what I'm saying? So, and then when I went to Ohio, I was still battling. Every time I met a rapper, anywhere I went, you know, you had asked me earlier, you know, if I be sizing motherfuckers up or some shit, writing for them and shit. Like, I don't do that now, but back then, if I met a motherfucker, oh, you can't rap better than me. Didn't matter. That's the way we looked at it. Oh, you rap? Let's rap right now. We're going outside right now. Let's rap right now. So everything was a battle. That's what I'm saying. That's the way it was in New York. On God, like, you just rapped right now. Like, or you couldn't rap. You couldn't say you was a rapper because somebody was going to be like, all right. Y'all see how that's like when Cassidy's in battle rap now, you hear how he talked. That's really how we thought. I mean, he obviously comes off a little crazy because, like, New York doesn't run rap anymore and shit, and that style doesn't necessarily work where you're like, I'm the best rapper because it's more about sales and which matters. But that was really the attitude. Like, you was in the room with somebody who thought they was better than you. So if you said you rap, well, guess what? Rap then. Or you don't rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't rap then. Like, in school or whatever. They're not going to call you no rapper because you got told to rap, and guess what? You didn't rap. So, like, you know what I'm saying?
Jay-Z and DMX battled in London.
No, it was battles, man, were
That
like,
shit was real.
were a big deal. And, like, and then I battled
don't rap.
so battling was the way we looked at rap. You know, like that Jay-Z battle was a big deal. Like, I remember where we were when we heard Ether. Like, we heard it when everyone heard it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were right there in New York. I remember being in the park and, like, we were surrounding the table and shit, you know? Battle rap was always a big deal. And when I went to the joint, you know, it's so crazy. It's so crazy, man. Like, there was a point in my life where I was in jail a lot, shit. So even if I wasn't going to the joint, I was just going to jail. So I went to jail a lot. You know, I think I've been to jail like 25 times or something, probably. So I've been to jail a lot. And it got to a point where if I'm keeping it all the way real, I'll be like, yeah, I'm fitting to eat some of these motherfuckers. I'll be excited when I got to jail. I swear to God, yo, because that's what it was going to be. I knew it. Like, I said, okay, cool. Motherfuckers ain't got shit else to do. They're going to hear me rap. And then I'll start battling in jail. And that's where shit would get crazy because I'm not a tough guy, none of that. I'm cool. I know motherfuckers, so I'm never, you know what I'm saying? I got people with me and shit. But I'm just here to rap. You know what I'm saying? But I was willing to allow whatever was going to happen behind me rapping. You know, so it always came off genuine because it was clear as day. Like, if something was going to happen, then it was going to happen. You know, so I wasn't going to change how I rap. You know, and I rap aggressive because I came from nothing. I'm writing some of these bars when I was outside, like I said earlier. So if I'm going to give you these bars, I'm going to give you these bars. You know what I'm saying? And so the joint really made me, I think, as a battle rapper, really kind of made me understand how to control the room. Because if you can control that room, and like I said, so I get to North Central. And North Central's wild. You know what I'm saying? North Central's wild. So I get to North Central. I got a mic on my arm and shit. I didn't have like all these tattoos. So I got this mic on my arm was like really prevalent, you know what I'm saying? So I'm sitting on my bunk and shit. I ain't even been there that long. Fucking when you get to the joint, at least in Ohio, it was really segregated by city. You know what I'm saying? Obviously there was race groups in every prison, but the prisons I went to, and I've been to 5, none of them were like, you didn't have to go be with a race. Like that wasn't a thing. You know what I'm saying? If you was outside and you was from a city, you could go be with people from that city, you know what I'm saying? So I would always end up with people from Toledo. So when I first got to North Central, they knew I was from Toledo, but that's really it, right? Because I had only been there a little bit. So I'm sitting on my bunk and shit, and listen, on everything I love. Dude sees the microphone, and he's like, yo, Toledo. I'm like, what's up, man? You like, you rap? I'm like, yeah, a little bit. He like, yo, come with me. So I'm like, all right, fuck it. And I'm young and shit. This is my first time in prison. So I had rapped in jail and shit, but this is my first time in prison. And he takes me outside and shit. Takes me over to where everybody from Toledo's at and shit. And they're like, yo, go get the bomber. Go get the bomber and shit. You know what I'm saying? We're going to battle. And he had never heard me rap once, ever. Not one time. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm scared. I'm not scared. You know what I'm saying? I'm the only white dude out here, man. And there's hundreds of people out here. The prison had 1,300 people in it or some shit. You know what I'm saying? So they like, and the bomber is the rapper from Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? So I know he a big deal. So I'm sitting on the bleachers and shit. We all sitting there waiting. There's a bunch of motherfuckers in the basketball court. A bunch of motherfuckers are standing all around and shit. This motherfucker, I'm trying to downplay all this shit. This motherfucker come up with 50 people. It's probably way more. There's already 100, 200 people. There's so many people. He comes with 50 people, 100 people probably. I'm like, what the fuck? This is what I'm thinking in my head. I'm what the fuck? I'm scared to death. I ain't gonna lie, right? So they never heard me rap. Never. They never heard me rap. So I had the luxury to be up on the bleachers, right? So when the bomber get there, he's standing at the bottom of the bleachers with all the Cleveland motherfuckers right here, and like all the Toledo motherfuckers is up on the bleachers and shit. You know what I'm saying? So he's sitting there. I'm like, you know, I just keep doing this every time the dude who brought me over here asks me if I'm ready. I'm just like, you know. And he was like, bomber's talking shit. And he's like, who is he? Da da da. I'm like, all right, fuck it. He's like, you ready to go? And I just started going. And I swear, yo, like, imagine a battle. You've been to battles. Just imagine a packed crowd. I'm talking about when I started hitting, because I could rap. So, like, and I ain't shit. So maybe you don't think I can rap. I don't care. This is what actually happened. These motherfuckers went ballistic, dog. Cleveland, everybody, and the Bomber just looking at me. And I'm sure he's a savage and shit. Like, I shut all that shit out. People just come running from everywhere in the yard, everywhere. I start freestyling because I done battled a lot, you know what I'm saying? So I'm talking about Cleveland, I'm talking about his hat, his shit, he had golds in, I called him Rolo rappers and some more shit. Like, I had already flipped bars about his name, like, before they wasn't ready for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Eminem was a weirdo. Like, there wasn't no white dudes that was going to stand up in the joint and go like that, so they wasn't expecting that shit. And long story less long, fucking finally the guards come, right? There's so many fucking people there, yo. So the guards come and shit, and then the Bomber don't rap, you know what I'm saying? So now everybody getting kind of,
because he don't rap.
He ended up coming for me later, and then it's the whole. So he got his shit together and came back. He came and found me, and it was pretty lit. But so it started getting tense. Not necessarily tense, but these dudes are all surrounding me from Toledo, like, yo, don't worry, son, we gonna ride with you, and da 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 da. And I don't want, you know what I'm saying? I'm just here to rap, but obviously I also understand I'm in prison, so I get how this works. But everybody, and after that, yo, I swear, man, I'll be walking around and random motherfuckers be like, yo, we got you. And it was just some rap shit, but you know what I'm saying? And then I smoked them again. And then I was known, like, if you came to the joint, you had to come see me. And, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, hell yeah. And it's been, there's been people who came out, and it's been confirmed online and different shit, people who were there. So what happened was they ended up shutting the yard down. Because there's too many people out there. They shut the yard down for like 3 days. Because the battle between me and the Bomber, he passed away, R.I.P. Yeah, then the guards came and get me to rap for him and shit. It's crazy. Hell yeah. So I was battling in the joint. Shit, that was ill. And then when I got out, I didn't do too much battling until I got here. But, we battled a little bit at like events and shit, but it would be to beats and shit back then. When I first got out of prison and shit. So it's not the same.
So, talk about your time on Xplizit Records.
So got out of the joint, was making music in Ohio, wasn't really battling, came here. That was the mindset was the same still. Like, I wanted to make music, but, oh, you a rapper? What's up? Let's battle. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? So when I first got here, I went to Platinum, because obviously I was trying to figure out who was who. That was the barbershop to go to. So I'm trying to talk to everybody, meet everybody, figure out who was rapping, you know what I'm saying, so I could see who to link with. And that's when I heard about a few people, and that kind of led me to Xplizit. And I called them kind of the same way it is now. It was a little leery and shit, because, you got to know somebody who knows somebody, you know what I'm saying? And I just kind of found them on my own investigation. But then I ended up getting in the studio and recorded, a little bit, and kept going. And there was a few times I would pay for studio time and I didn't want to record. I'd be like, yo, let's just chop it up, because I was trying to learn. I was trying to figure shit out, you know what I'm saying? So we was building a relationship, so that's kind of why I felt away for a while. Like, so we was cool before there was any Xplizit Records. And there's probably always an Xplizit Records, I'm sure. That's a thing, but I am also 100% sure it was never as big as a thing as it was that summer. I was there, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I thought we was building something. I was having a good time, man. You know what I'm saying? So, to be fair, like, actually, it's not fair at all. It was some bullshit. Yeah, the way that shit wrapped up was some bullshit. But, yeah, man, started fucking with X, and we was cool. And then Xplizit Records happened. Yeah, man. Me and T-Bear made a song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that song, yo. Melody still sings that song. Actually, there was a chance, man, with some of the music that we was making at Xplizit Records, man. There was a chance, man. That's why, this was, I hugged this man's mom, you know what I'm saying? Like, on New Year's, like, our kids was like this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this was my man. It was like some making the band shit. I got a text message one day, like, studio shut down. Gotta walk to Waukee and get some fucking pumpkin pie from a fucking Korean midget. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll think about opening up the studio again. That's what it was like, though. It was like, and then we just never talked again. I swear to God, like, this was my man. We had just went in the studio and recorded some shit. I got songs that if I played right now, you'd be like, oh shit, that's kind of hard. I'd be like, I know. Like, what the fuck? Like, what? You know what I'm saying? So, so I'm gonna get this out the way because we might spend a few minutes on this. I'm not mad at him at all. He's cool. Everything is cool, yo. But we still was fucking dumb. Like, we was cool, and then I just never heard from motherfucker again. Not once, yo. And then he did it. Yo, he hit Scooby with the same shit and all that. Like, me and Scooby still cool. We kicking this shit. Like, what the fuck? Shit was mad weird, son. Yo, why don't you just say? He was like, whatever. We adults, man. Use your words. You know what I'm saying? So I felt the way, but I got over it eventually. But I felt the way at first because we had some momentum, though. I didn't understand. To X's credit, he hasn't done a ton of video work and shit since then. So it's not like he started pushing a bunch of other shit. You know what I'm saying? He gets paid for studio time, as he should. He has a family and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's what I didn't understand. Like, I didn't care about none of that shit. Like, we could stop making music, so what? But he's my man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he thought people was coming for him, so I had to go there sometimes. This is my man, right? Like, this is my man. So, listen, when at the height of Xplizit Records, like when Young Sir was there and shit, doing a lot of numbers and shit, people was fucking with it. They booked Gorilla Zoe, right? So, there's the Gorilla Zoe show. What's the name of that venue? It's closed down now. It was kind of a little out the way. It was like the Marquee Theater or something. Was there like a
Ingersoll?
what was it called?
It was called the Marquee.
Ingersoll. That's what it So it was at the Marquee. So if anybody kind of know what that's like, but it's a little out the way though too. They brought Gorilla Zoe. Xplizit Records presents Gorilla Zoe, right? So still was wilding back then a little bit. So drunk as hell and shit. There was a lot of people there though. So Gorilla Zoe shows up, and he's standing in, because when you walk into the Marquee, like there's like a ticket thing right there, and there's like a little like booth thing right there that you kind of stand at, and you can walk past. You know what I'm saying? He's standing right behind the thing. It's like accessible to everybody's right there. And I'm drunk as hell, and I'm telling my homies like, Rail was with me, a few other people. I'm like, yo, look, Gorilla Zoe's right there, and nobody even cares. But I know that I'm probably too loud. I'm drunk, but what? So what? Also, so what? You know what I'm saying? I'm lit, but he obviously didn't like that shit, you know what I'm saying? Because nobody knew who he was. He had big ass jewelry on. Shout out to him. He came out with jewelry on, all that shit. But nobody even knew who he was. So he kind of felt the way. I'm sure Gorilla Zoe is never going to see this. But if he does, to your credit, I understand why you did what you did, man. You was hurt. It's okay. Nobody knew who he was. And there was fucking all the people were out here. There's a lot of people showing up. So nobody noticed Gorilla Zoe right here. That's what you're here to see. So he felt the way about that. So eventually the concert's going on. It's pretty packed in there and shit. And Young Sir and them up on stage with him. X is filming it. Now X is the one who put this concert on. You know what I'm saying? Like he's the one, X put this whole concert together. So him and Young Sir, they funded it and all that shit. So I'm lit as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Young Sir comes on stage, he gets me. And he brings me up on stage and shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, all right, cool, shit. So I'm up there turning it up and shit. I'm throwing up the X and shit. This motherfucker stops the show. Stops the show. And he's like, yo, stop filming my shit. And it's like, X is the one filming. You know what I'm saying? Like it's his show. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he made X stop filming. Like made him stop filming. So I felt the way about that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, it was just some fun times. You know what I'm saying? And he made him stop filming. He played him, and I felt the way. Because this was our shit. And shout out to Young Sir. That's my man to this day. He came and got me, brought me on stage. And then made it get off stage, and then he got back to rapping and shit. And X wasn't even filming no more. And it was his fucking show. That's why X told him not even to come to the studio. He wanted to come to the studio later. He told him not. That's facts. You know what I'm saying? X was my man, though. Like, I was on stage, like, you know what I'm saying? I was repping that shit everywhere. That's why I felt the way, because, that shit was working. That shit was working. You know? So, and what's fucked up is what he's doing is working. But I feel the same. So we could have stayed on a trajectory of just doing better and see where that went. So I keep it all the way 100. I don't even give a fuck about no music. We could have just kept, there was no reason for that bridge to be burnt. I don't even think it's burnt. There was no reason for that bridge to just stop being crossed. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck? We probably could have did good shit. So, but yeah. For for a little while with Xplizit, we was popping. Scooby and them, when we was doing them videos and was dropping them consistently, then I think consistency is a big deal anyway with content, period. You know what I'm saying? Just, you gotta stay at it, just consistently, and, you know. People can go back and check all that new shit eventually. Or, I mean, all that older shit, you know what I mean? So, and we were starting to gain some traction. I don't know what the fuck happened with that shit, but that also kind of soured a little bit. That's another reason I stopped making music, because I just wanted to be a part of something. You know what I'm saying? I didn't care about no money, none of that shit. You know, so I just wanted to be a part of something. He could have said, no, pay for studio time then. I didn't ask to never not pay for studio. This shit all happened organically. That's why I don't understand. You know, like Dirty Face, when Dirty Face came about, he gave me the shot, and I fucking murdered that song, yo. And nobody expected that shit, you know what I'm saying? And so, like, that shit was a big deal. There was a whole bunch of people there, like, we had a ton of energy, yo. And it just kept building from there and shit. And, you know, Scooby was hot at the time. Yeah, man. I wish we would have kept making music, but... So I felt the way about that, then started battle rapping. And X filmed the first battle that I had here at House of Bricks. It was Who Got the Streets Won, and it was like a tournament kind of, you know what I mean? So there was like, I don't remember how many people, but I know I battled 4 times in one night. And the first dude I battled, he was the one talking the most shit too. And he couldn't get in because he didn't have his ID. So I was like, all right, let's go outside then. You know what I'm saying? Shit. And I fucked him up out there. I fucked him up bad. That one bad. That one did some numbers too, but that's what I mean. Xplizit, the quality. You know, X is quality. That's, you know, he's the man. But yeah, fucked him up outside. And then I went inside and battled 3 more people that night and beat all them, won some money. I think I won $100. Yeah. And then they did a Who Got the Streets too, and I didn't do that one. Chemist was in that one. For whatever that's worth. He didn't win.
He didn't win.
No. Let's get you something took over from there. But yeah, when I first got here, like battling, you know, when I stopped making music with Xplizit, I didn't want to make music no more. Because the sound quality and shit, it was all there, man. Like, fuck, I just kept paying. What the fuck? You know what? You're probably going to watch this. You're going to be one of the 43 people who watch this. Yo, man, that shit hurt my feelings, man. And I'm glad to get that off my chest now. GFG out here mending bridges. Let's go. What's up? My bad. I meant that shit though. No, because I feel like we could have kept, you know, we could have kept creating content, man.
West YouTube, this your boy Big Ray West. You tuned in to GFG TV.